once again later. For now, 3 minutes left for the markets to open. Looks like it's going to be a flat opening. Kotak Mahindra Bank, of course, is down about 3% or so ahead of that deal. HCL Tech, Titan and Z Entertainment are a couple of other stocks that are under a bit of pressure today. Ashwini, what would your big call be at 9:10?
I think Bank Nifty is opening 90 points lower. Try to get it at lower levels. And B, Titan is a buy with a stop of 1030, target of 1075. And this little bit of dip seems to be because of these banking stocks. So chances are early morning there should be a fairly strong buy on dip if you get a 20-point lower opening on the Nifty.
I guess it's a one-off dip because in the Bank Nifty because of Kotak Mahindra Bank, which has this one event of ING selling in a block about 1.2% of the stake, and maybe once that pressure is off, for the next 90 days there's a lock-in, so there won't be further sales. You should see pressure off that stock. Mr. Tulsian, any other stock that is catching your eye at this point in time? We have seen genuinely the mid-caps and the small-cap space troughing out. Is there something that looks like bargain value to you?
See, again, Lata, continuing with Mehrabun's theme, in fact, a lot of stocks are seen to be, again, you will stop asking me the list because I have not prepared the list the Mehrabun makes with a notebook. But telecom cable is really looking a very good happening space, and maybe in that space, if you go by the stocks, Vindhya Telelink or maybe Tejas Networks, Sterlite Technology, HFCL, they are really looking quite good. And in fact, the way their margin expansion is seen happening, we are keeping extremely positive on that sector of the telecom cable. But yes, going by the other things also, maybe like amongst the chemical space, we have been in fact advising the stocks like maybe Tirumalai Chemical and IG Petro, because if you recall, Q3 numbers were really seen to be bad for Tirumalai Chemical because of the fall in the thallic anhydride and maleic anhydride prices. But now I think it seems that the things are seen returning back, the normalcy seem to be returning back in the product prices, which will be seen highly positive for these companies. And apart from that, maybe in the specialty chemicals and other chemicals also, maybe like Aarti Industries and Excel Industries kind of things. So these two sectors comes to our mind: cable and chemical space. Both are seen to be having good value. And third could be the consumer durables. We have been giving buy call on the stocks like IFB Industries, Whirlpool Industries. So if you go by the sector wise, then yes, you have these 3-4 sectors. But if you want to pick the stocks amongst the mid and small cap, I think there are umpteen ideas available.
Okay, sir, your mind is a computer. You don't need any notebook. Well, thank you for joining us and giving us your views on individual stocks. We just have 20 seconds left. In fact, Mitesh, very quickly, if you can tell us what your big call at 9:10 is.
It's a buy on Bajaj Auto with a stop at 27.90 for targets of 28.75.
Okay, and Rajat, what about you? 10 seconds left.
Bata.
Okay.
My stock would be Bata, stop loss below 12.65, targets 13.07 and 13.24.
Okay, gentlemen, we have more questions for you all. Do stay on. This market's about to open in a second. Well, there goes the bell. And it's about 0.1. I mean, it's flat to marginally lower opening, about 20 points down on the Nifty. Okay, now expanding to about 22, 23 points, but not much. And likewise on the Sensex, about 0.1 down. The Bank Nifty, like we have been saying, is 1/3% lower, but it's largely courtesy Kotak Mahindra Bank. That's down about 4.4%. Chances are that the dips will be bought. Chances are, that's the expert opinion. Otherwise, there's not too much that's putting pressure on the Nifty Bank. I mean, yes is a little lower. Otherwise, most of the Bank Nifty components are doing somewhat well. ICICI Bank is up 0.6 okay, now Yes Bank also has moved to the green. Axis and HDFC Bank are in the green. So maybe this 0.4 fall in the Nifty Bank will be made up later on in the day. The Nifty and the Sensex are holding on to just minor losses, and the mid-cap as well, not performing too much today. Okay, what's doing well? Surprise, surprise, it's BPCL and IOC, which are leading the pack, so not really scared away by what CLSA is warning. For the moment, crude is about a few cents lower, and maybe that's all that's being celebrated. We don't know. Bajaj Auto is the top gainer. So, Mitesh, your trade is working right away. 0.7 higher. Maruti Suzuki 0.7. ICICI Bank 0.7. HP IndusInd Bank, M&M, Kotak Mahindra, Asian Paints, HUL are all stocks which are up about 0.5% or almost 0.5%. What's the red list? Kotak Mahindra Bank. No prizes for guessing that, 4.2%. But that's only the one-off block sale that's casting this pressure. The steel stocks are all lower. JSW, Tata Steel, etc. Some profit taking coming in, about 1% lower. L&T also starting lower. So is Ultratech Cement, Tata Motors, Adani Ports, Power Grid, NTPC, Reliance, Infosys. So all these big boys are pulling their weight in the red, not by a lot, by about say 0.5% or so. That's the index then, not moving much either ways.
Okay, not moving either way, just consolidating around these levels. On Kotak Mahindra Bank, just to refresh, ING has sold about 1.2% stake via a block deal. As you can see, 4.2% equity has changed hands there. And according to sources, the deal has been done at 12.45 rupees a share. So we'll just try and confirm that for you. But for now, 4.2% equity has changed hands. In terms of individual stocks in the broader markets, Jet Airways is up in the green on the back of that emergency funding that has come through from SBI and PNB, according to news reports, so up 2.5%. Muthoot Finance, a stock that Mehboob was talking about, that stock is up almost about 1% or so. Some real estate companies doing well. Prestige Estates is up almost about 2%. Oberoi Realty is in the green. In fact, this year has been good for real estate. Oberoi Realty has put on about 15% weight this year so far. So keep an eye out on that. Some of the NBFCs like Group Finance, Cholamandalam, etc. are also trading in the green. TVS Motors bouncing back from its lows. Bata is also trading the green. On the downside, though, Dish TV is under pressure, so that continues. And, all the PSU banks that were rallying yesterday, Sudarshan was telling us that it's perhaps the best time to take profits yesterday if you're getting it. All of those stocks are under pressure. Allahabad Bank, Corporation Bank, PNB, the whole lot, Bank of India, all down about 1% or so. So flat opening for the market right now. Ashwini, what would the call be here at this 10,770 level? Difficult to sense which way it's going to head, but for now there's a bit of a red hue. What would you do?
See, it is actually very easy to assess because you're straight away getting a 30-point discount. So, once this first hour or so is over, I think the market should head towards upside because the upswing remains. And once a couple of these large stocks tend to start recovering, I think even short covering will come back. So that way, today is the day to buy the gap down and then see how the markets recover. But overall, I would think that we will probably today itself get past 10,800, 820.
Okay, that's a positive call. Actually, the breadth is on the favor of the bulls at this point in time. Not by a whole lot, about 1.2 shares for every one share that is in the red. Number of advancing stocks are higher than the number of declining stocks. Mitesh, what's the call now after the markets open?
Yeah, Lata, I think around 10,760, 750 zone I would attempt along with the 20-point stop loss and look at 10,850, 860 as my target for the next 2-3 days. That's the 200 average area. That apart, on the stock side, I think BEML has started with the gap up. That could see some good follow through for the day and would recommend buying that with a stop below yesterday's high of 789.
Okay. Rajat?
I would choose Maruti. Maruti in the future segment is trading at 68.62, and there is a hammer line yesterday, and now probably there would be a good recovery. We can expect something like 69.50 on the upside in Maruti.
Okay, and finally, Mehboob, before we let you go, any thoughts on how to approach Kotak now? I mean, of course, today it's this deal that has taken place, but in general?
Over the years, I think Kotak, IndusInd Bank and HDFC Bank, I have honestly told investors, make an SIP, go on buying it, don't bother too much about short-term fluctuations. In the same breath, I wish to state that if I see a downside in the market, which I believe will happen, but maybe another 100 points upside on the Nifty at most for the time being, I think stocks like Kotak can falter. Okay. So saying that today's
move, will get a good level.
I'm saying if you're looking from the long-term angle, you can buy at any price. But if you're looking from the shorter-term angle, I think Kotak would not be the best bet. Though I still say that it's a core holding stock. There are concerns also on the promoters holding, let's not forget about it. And at 1250 or 1260, is it cheap in terms of valuation? Certainly not in a market in which there is certainly a room for downside. So maybe 1100, 1125 if you give me for Kotak, or 1400 rupees for an IndusInd Bank, or maybe 100 rupees lower for HDFC Bank. I will say from a trading angle, again, they are great buys. But from a core holding angle, don't bother to sell into Kotak right now. Or I would say that if you are buying from the core holding angle, you can buy it at any price. I think money is going to be made. But from a shorter term angle trading point, just because it's down 20, 30 rupees, people try to make a quick buck. I don't think one should be falling into that particular trap right now.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Meherboon, Ashwini, Mitesh and Rajat, thank you very much. And of course, we will be calling our technical experts on the hour to refresh their calls. Markets at this point in time obeying the Asian trend and showing a little bit of dip, but it's oh so little. And the mid-caps are continuing in green terrain. We have seen a decent amount of recovery in the mid-cap and the small-cap space over the past 2 or 3 days, most specifically for the past 2 days. And today, that looks like continuing, at least for the moment. With that backdrop, let's invite our market master for the morning. We have Gautam Chowcharia, Managing Director and Head of India Research at UBS Securities, joining us. Good morning, Gautam. Always a pleasure having you with us. Thank you for dropping in. First, let's discuss your report. This is this interesting trip to Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. What did you find? I mean, could you get... people are confused. I was told by one political veteran that the BJP is down but not out. The Congress is up but not in. What are your findings?
So that's politics in India. It's always fragmented and complex, and any trip you make or experts you make, you'll have different opinions. And we look for data points which is more unbiased and something which is revealing. So one of the things we picked up there clearly is the 6,000 rupees scheme from the budget. So the implementation on the ground is on a war footing. So anywhere we went in Uttar Pradesh, we saw stacks of forms filled up along with the document. So this scheme looks like it will be rolled out with a lot of seriousness in Uttar Pradesh. And the maths of Uttar Pradesh, if you look at the number of votes cast in 14, including for the BJP, and the number of farmers being targeted and the land records digitally available, suggests that this is meaningful. Now, whether the farmer actually votes based on this scheme or not is up for debate. But the scheme is for real, and this is a wild card definitely for Mr. Modi, definitely in Uttar Pradesh and possibly in other states.
Yeah.